Hello pioneers around the world. Welcome back to Pi Network Updates, your source for the latest Pi news, updates, and community discussions. Let's jump right into today's update.
Pi2Day 2026 just happened, and the releases are more significant than most people are giving them credit for. This isn't another internal ecosystem update. Pi just launched 3 products that push Pi's infrastructure beyond its own platform and into the wider internet. SoloHost, Pi Sign-In, and PiVerify. Today we break down each one, what it actually does, and what it means for where Pi is heading. The theme of Pi2Day 2026. Before diving into each product, it's worth understanding the theme connecting all 3 releases. Pi has spent years building internal infrastructure: mainnet, Pi browser, Pi wallet, Pi ad network, and Pi launchpad. Pi2Day 2026 marks a pivot. These 3 releases are all designed to extend Pi's services outward, to businesses, developers, and platforms that exist entirely outside the Pi ecosystem. The pitch to the external world is, Pi has 60 million users, 18 million KYC verified identities, 420,000 node operators, and infrastructure for payments, identity, and compute. You can now access all of that from outside Pi's own walls. SoloHost is a new framework inside Pi Desktop that lets developers build and list self-hosted apps, meaning apps that run on the user's own computer, not on a remote server. The first category is local AI agents. The first live example is an app called Hermes, an open-source local AI agent that runs entirely on the user's own device. All computation, all data, stay on your computer. No third-party cloud server receives your information. That's a meaningful distinction in 2026. As AI becomes more embedded in daily life, data privacy concerns are growing. SoloHost positions Pi nodes as a privacy-respecting alternative to cloud-based AI tools. The second category is distributed computing. Pi has over 420,000 node operators, people already running Pi Desktop on their own computers. SoloHost will soon allow those nodes to contribute available computing power to AI workloads from third-party clients. Those clients pay node operators in Pi for the compute they use. An upcoming distributed computing app will initially involve the top 100 node operators contributing resources to real AI tasks, with full production utility for third-party clients. This turns Pi's node network from a blockchain infrastructure layer into a genuine computing resource. For developers, SoloHost is permissionless. Any developer with a Pi account can build and list an app without a traditional review pipeline. Pi is positioning this closer to an open developer platform than a curated app store. Pi Sign-In allows third-party websites and apps to offer Pi as a login option, similar to how you see Sign In with Google or Sign In with Apple across the internet today. For users, it means accessing supported external services with an existing Pi account instead of creating new credentials for every platform. Authorization happens either through a QR code scan or by moving into the Pi browser, and any data shared requires explicit user consent. For third-party services, Pi Sign-In is a distribution tool. It connects them with Pi's large user base and gives them access to Pi's verified identity layer. There's also a direct connection to SoloHost. When a local AI app runs on a pioneer's desktop, Pi Sign-In allows that user to access it from their mobile phone, authenticating the device through the Pi account without requiring any manual server configuration. It makes locally run AI accessible across a user's own devices, matching the convenience of cloud-based AI without the privacy trade-off. Pi Sign-In is an initial release and will be iterated over time, but the infrastructure direction is clear. PiVerify is arguably the most commercially significant of the 3 releases. It makes Pi's KYC and identity verification capabilities available to external businesses as a paid service. Clients, fintech platforms, crypto exchanges, Web3 apps, and AI platforms can integrate PiVerify to verify that their users are real humans, screen for sanctions and AML compliance, detect duplicate accounts, and reduce fraud and Sybil attacks. Pi's KYC system has already verified over 18 million pioneers across 200-plus countries using a hybrid AI and human verification model. PiVerify packages that infrastructure as a B2B service. /2 details stand out here. First, clients pay in Pi to use PiVerify. That creates direct, external demand for the Pi token from businesses that have no other connection to the Pi ecosystem. Second, every user verified through PiVerify expands Pi's global pool of verified real humans, strengthening the foundation of the entire ecosystem over time. This is Pi generating real revenue from outside its own community. Pi2Day Ecosystem Quest. Pi also launched a Pi2Day 2026 Ecosystem Quest, an in-app activity that guides pioneers through the new releases, includes a quiz on today's updates, and awards a special edition badge for completion. The quest runs until July 13th and is accessible through the Pi2Day icon on the Pi Mining app home screen. Worth completing, especially since understanding these mechanics will matter when mainnet versions of Pi Launchpad and other products go live. Balanced take. The honest assessment: SoloHost is early beta with significant room to evolve. Pi Sign-In is a first version. PiVerify is launching, but external adoption depends on whether businesses actually integrate it. These are foundations, not finished products. The question Pi always faces is execution pace and whether the ecosystem can attract enough external participation to make these services self-sustaining. But the direction is genuinely different from what Pi was even 6 months ago. Moving from an internal token ecosystem to an external service provider for compute, identity, and verification is a meaningful strategic shift. Pi2Day 2026 delivered 3 releases that collectively reposition Pi from an internal ecosystem into something that can interface with the wider internet. SoloHost for compute and local AI. Pi Sign-In for identity across the web. PiVerify for real human verification as a B2B service. Whether these products gain real external traction is the next test, and we'll be tracking it. Which of the 3 releases do you think is most significant? Drop your take in the comments, and subscribe. We'll have ongoing coverage of how these products develop post Pi2Day.